Hello, and welcome, my Virgo collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs. Welcome to your Twin Flame read for April 2020 or Timeless. I am your reader, Angelo Lyons. Mal for short. President of Drawing the Circle Productions, professional witch, professional intuitive, and Virgo sun sign. My goodness, second house, 4 planets, all just lined up. I'm a Virgo. Boy, am I a Virgo. And am I very, very happy to be doing this reading for you in service, as you know we do like to do. If you are new to the channel, please do like, subscribe, comment, notification bell, all that stuff just helps the channel overall. Please, this is a general read, so take what resonates, leave what does not. Check your other signs, because really we're only doing between 8 and 12 cards in this spread. Upload times have been a little frustrating for us Virgos, I suppose, trying to stay on schedule, because everybody's on the internet. It's not YouTube's fault at all, I'm sure. We're all doing the best that we can here. So competing for bandwidth, somebody said to me. I have no idea what that means. But that being said, let's get down to business with this read. It is a twin flame contract reading. Technically, my guides call it the twin flame teachers. How the relationship itself is teaching you how to love yourself, how to heal yourself, how to take care of yourself, because the other person can't, right? That's why it's a mirror in that way. You're being shown a lot about yourself. But remember, that mirror process has been very oversimplified. It's not always that what they do, you do, right? But it can be that they show you what you judge in this world so that you can reconcile your own judgment of it. Just saying, Virgos, we can be critical as fuck, and you know it. So let's have a look-see-dooksy at how you can heal as a result of this relationship, what this twin flame contract is teaching you, regardless of whether it's sexual and romantic, or family, or because you certainly get more than one. And there are some videos in the description box if you're interested and intrigued about a little bit more about the difference between a twin flame and a soulmate in the new 5th dimensional definitions. Just saying. Worth it! Based entire series of readings on it for months. And if you'll just breathe, then we'll be able to look at the divine feminine and the divine masculine as the two parties within the contract. That has nothing to do with bodily gender. Has to do with energetic dynamics. You'll see as we go. Ready? I'm going to start with Caroline Mace archetype deck, just 2. All the decks that I read are in the description box. Go have a look. There's a lot of cool stuff. I give good description box. Nice deep breath. Ah, here we go, my collective pantheons, please. 2 cards, one for the divine feminine and one for the divine masculine in this Virgo collective. Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign, twin flame contract, April 2020 or Timeless. One for the divine masculine and one for the divine feminine. But let's start with the divine feminine, please, my pantheons. Ladies first. There's one for our divine feminine, and please one for the divine masculine. Keeping in mind, I'll say it over and over again as needed, this is not about bodily gender, Y chromosome, or lack thereof. This is about yin and yang. Divine feminine yin, divine yang masculine, receptive, active, but we are all a fluid balance of both. Intuitive, intellectual, we could go on, we won't though. So let's see who our twin flame couple is. Well. We've got the Don Juan archetype for the divine feminine. Now, Don Juan means Father Juan, usually considered wholly masculine, but this is not a member of the masculine family of archetypes. It is of the wild card family. So you never know what to expect from a wild card family archetype. And so this does not shock me that it's come up here. I believe it's happened a couple of times before in my history of doing readings on YouTube. But I will tell you, it's all about the soul power of seduction. And remember, the divine can seduce you. I've been seduced by the divine. How do you think I got on my path? They totally was guided away from everything I thought my life was going to be by an unstoppable magnetism from divine love, true love, calling me forth onto my path at a relatively young age. The shadow attribute of the Don Juan, using the power of romantic attraction for private agendas. Now, you can't tell me that that doesn't happen in all genders sooner or later. Do you know what I mean? It's like, I get the divine feminine in that, using your feminine wiles, right? Your I get it. In the shadow, using the power of romantic attraction for private agendas. In other words, you don't let the other person know why you're doing it. The light attributes spotlights your positive, seductive qualities. And let's be clear. When someone's got that kind of charisma, uniqueness, nerve, and talent, thank you, Saint RuPaul of the Drag Race, it's seductive. There's something seductive about someone who's really got their shit together, who's really empowered, who has perhaps their sex appeal refined, but not spilling out all over the place either. Do you know what I mean? Someone who's really got it together. Sounds like a Virgo. Could be. We are the hidden sluts of the zodiac. Our virginity grows back by daylight. Didn't you know that? So very interesting, the seductive power of a divine feminine. Now, look, as a gay man and a Virgo, I can relate to that. And have I used the power of romantic attraction for private agendas? You bet you have. That was the 80s. We ain't there no more. Talk about path of true love pitfalls, baby. Everybody goes through it. So what's interesting is we got the magical child here for the divine masculine. Now I have the magical child. Everybody has the child archetype in one way, shape, form, or sub-archetype. Not everybody has necessarily the magical child one, though. Shadow attributes: pessimism, depression, and disbelief in miracles, believing that energy and action are not required for growth. Now, come on, we see that on the spiritual path rather often, that last part. Well, if it's meant to happen, I guess it'll just happen. It'll fall in my lap. It's like, no. Your participation is needed in the game. Grow up, right? That's a child's point of view of it. But I'll be honest with you, there are days where I don't believe in miracles, but that's an empathic healing process moving through me, that inner child in me, usually the shadow of the magical child who is pessimistic or depressed at the time, because it's okay to feel that in the times that we're in, by the way, particularly if you're an empath, right? But the light attributes: seeing the potential for sacred beauty in all things, belief that everything is possible. We need that on the planet right now. That innocence of the heart of spirit, because a healthy magical child is helpful if you're trying to do magic, if you're trying to transform things, to believe that there is a divine plan and that there is guidance and grace, more as just a hope, but from your direct experience. I have experienced divine intervention and mystical intercession so many times that for me to doubt it would be kind of crazy from my point of view, considering it keeps revealing itself every time, never the way I expect it, and never when I think I need it, but when I actually need it. So I get that, right? So we've got a very, very powerful thing here in a twin flame contract, because this can really, really speak of innocence or depression. Tricky, 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 tricky. But the Don Juan, depending on the type of relationship this is, right? Because in a sexual, Don Juan doesn't immediately scream, well, it does scream romantic sexual, but not necessarily if it's really about the power of seduction. Now, granted, using the power of romantic attraction for private agenda, well, in an advertising sense, lots of things are romanticized that really don't need to be, like deodorants. None in particular, just saying, you get what I'm saying. So there is a shadow agenda, or pretty much here by the sex sells, right? So a tricky sticky there. I can kind of feel that. I can feel that. So what we're going to do is elaborate on these. Usually I would pick like an angel card, a god card, and a goddess card. We're doing all three in one. Three pantheons in one deck. The angel, gods, and goddesses deck. Again, description box at the bottom if you want more info. Let's do this. Please breathe. Because this is some set of archetypes here. Here we go. My angels, gods, and goddesses, please, 2 cards. One for the divine feminine Don Juan, one for the divine masculine magical child archetype. Please, a god, a goddess, or an angel to give us an indication of what they're teaching and what they're learning here, however that balances out. For this Virgo collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign in this twin flame contract for April 2020 or timeless, please. One for the divine feminine Don Juan, one for the divine masculine magical child. What she got? Feminine Don Juan. Angel of self-worth. You are currently undervaluing yourself. It's time to regain your self-worth. snappity snap snap. Now, worth is what? Evaluated. And what does Virgo do? Evaluate, right? Sometimes to a critical extent, which means we can get microscopic about it. Like, it's all beautiful except for that one thing that ruins it all, right? I'll cop to that. I can do that one glitch in a video. I'm like, oh, I have to do it over. And my guides are like, no, you don't. Let it go. And I'm like, okay. Because I'm tired, right? So is that that hidden agenda there? If there is a hidden agenda, if you're using a romantic attraction for a hidden agenda, is it because of a worth issue there, right? You are currently undervaluing yourself. It is time to regain your self-worth. Now, that's a little harsh, and I've said that these angels, gods, and goddesses cards, they're a little direct. They'll just call you on the carpet every now and again. So just keep that in mind. Let's see what else pops, because this might be something that you are teaching as well as learning. For the magical child, we've got the god of spiritual healing. An aspect of your situation in your life is in need of healing. Okay, so perhaps there is some depression, some pessimism, there is some disbelief in miracles. I mean, you remember Harry, he wasn't always Potter, obviously, I hope, that he wasn't always just so thinking it was all just so great, right? We really do see the orphaned magical child archetype in full play in the Harry Potter stories, just as a good example of that. But with the god of spiritual healing in the masculine position here, the divine masculine, an aspect of you or a situation in your life is in need of healing. With the Don Juan, the seductive quality here, you're currently undervaluing yourself. It's time to regain your self-worth. You can feel the pull of the twin flame conflict here, that this one can't help this well, can teach this one, but cannot give this one, and vice versa, what they want. I can feel that tension. Let's ask the higher selves of all involved with the Whispers of Love Oracle. Nice deep breath. For my Virgos, please. The higher selves of all involved, possibly my own included. Please, 2 cards. One for the divine feminine Don Juan, one for the divine masculine magical child. Please, in this Virgo collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign twin flame contract for April 2020. Please. What's going on? There we go. For the divine feminine Don Juan. I know, interesting combo. And for the divine masculine magical child. Yeah, visions of Bellatrix Lestrange and Harry Potter. Just like, oh, yeah, right? Like seductive to the dark side. Not necessarily that she was doing, although it's Helena Bonham Carter. She's brilliant in everything she does. We've got the Don Juan here with the Angel of Self-Worth. Ready for this? Ready? Take a nice deep breath. Like attracts like. You are longing for more love in your life. You need to be more loving. What is that romantic power about in the shadow, Virgo? What is that about? Spotlights your positive, seductive qualities. Seduction to and of what? Highly personal throughout the collective, right? And what we got for this magical child is, in a way, a return, a real healing for them, right? We've got the god of spiritual healing here with this magical child archetype. You are limitless. Recognize this truth. You can do anything you choose to do. So that's a major, like, buck up, kid. It's going to be fine. You are limitless, but you got to kind of, there is that word choose. Recognize this truth. You can do anything you choose to do, which is the restoration, one would think, of that belief in miracles, that anything is possible. Not just anything, everything is possible. And as a Virgo, I draw the line at everything. I think everything is possible is the difference than anything is probable. Right? Looking at the quantum, there's no way I can blink my eyes and grow a unicorn horn out of my head within 3 seconds and then make it go away. I mean, literally, physically. I'm sure with video editing, anybody could do that. But I'm talking about the, Uncle Arthur kind of shit. Look it up. So here, we definitely have an interesting line of energy here with this Don Juan feminine here, liking attracts like, that there's this, I'm kind of getting more of the sexual flavor of this now, if there is a romantic thingy going on here, but that the innocence of this child I'm concerned about, wondering who, well, this is going to play itself out, Virgos, depending on who's watching this. So this is where we get some more variation in the number of cards in this spread. The Whispers of Love Oracle has laid out the higher selves. Now we begin with the Masters with the Chuck Spezzano Love Pack. There is half the deck, which is the problem. The other half of the deck is the Suit of Luck, the Suit of Healing, and the Suit of Grace. Let's see how many of these cards are needed to spell out what's going on here to the best that we can get it. Nice deep breath. Ascended Masters of Twin Flame Contracts, please start us off. One card here for this Virgo collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign. Twin Flame Contract for April 2020. Please, whether a piece of the problem, a piece of luck, a piece of grace, or a piece of healing, please, one card in clarity for the Virgos. And we've got a problem card, and guess what it is? Lack of self-worth. So my sense is this is something that both of them share as twins, that they are mirroring that back to each other, and that's why the other one can't give the other what they need, which is sense of worth, which might mean that they are devaluing each other. Now keep in mind, whoever's the Virgo in this, a lot of that can be about being too specific, too critical in thinking and focus. However, the voices within ourselves, those voices of lack of self-worth, of unworthiness, of self-loathing, need more love, not less. No matter how much love somebody pours on us, we have to patch that up ourselves with the help of the divine, right? That is the work. That is self-love. So lack of self-worth, what is it that you need to do to value yourself? The other one can't give you that. That's what these twin flame contracts are for. So the Don Juan might still be seducing and seducing and seducing and seducing with a private agenda of getting that sense of value from this magical child. But this magical child might very much be in this place of depression and disbelief that love is even real, or that anything is really worth it, right? Especially with the God of spiritual healing and you are limitless. So let's get another one here, right? Ascended Masters of Twin Flame Contracts, please, one more, another piece of clarity for this Virgo collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign Twin Flame Contract, April 2020. We've got the problem card of bad choices. So what are we evaluating here? Are we evaluating our choices and seeing them only as bad? Understanding that we have to make mistakes. There's a difference between a sin and an error. This is straight out of Course in Miracles. A sin cannot be forgiven. It is beyond which even God will forgive. And an error is something to be created, and there are no sins. There are only errors and misperception. We only do things. So even our bad choices are woven into the divine plan. Can't fuck up the divine plan. It's going to unfold anyway, but we have the quantum variations within the game. So if our lack of self-worth is based on bad choices, well then, darling, everyone on planet Earth should be crippled by that, because we all make bad choices. It's what you do with them. One more. Let's see. Please. I know this is a new kind of spread. Digging it big time. Please. My Ascended Masters of Twin Flame Contracts. One more for this Virgo collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign Twin Flame Contract, and we get the healing card of healing. Because that is 6th house, occupation and health. That is the Virgo thing. So this is all healable, but you're going to have to do it in yourselves, my Virgos. You can't help each other heal, but you can teach by example. Heal yourself. Go your own way. The Don Juan Divine Feminine, all about self-worth and like attracts like. The magical child, really, the God of spiritual healing, could have a mystical experience if they can tap into their own limitlessness, which the magical child has access to, but may not be able to get that don't help each other heal, you teach each other how to heal. So let's get your last card down and let's see what the mantra is. It doesn't matter, of course, I'm getting you a Matt Con mantra. Words. Whew. From the Ascended Masters, as well, as I like to call it, an Ascended Master double dip. Take a nice deep breath. Oh, Ascended Masters of twin flame contracts. I am not joking, but am I ever really when it comes to these particular mantras, because I know how helpful they can be. So, my Ascended Masters of twin flame contracts, please, what is the perfect healing mantra for this Virgo collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign twin flame contract for April 2020 involving this Divine Feminine, Don Juan, and Divine Masculine magical child? Please, the perfect healing mantra for them for April 2020, or timeless. I'm going right for it. Embodying my soul. I have a right to be excited. I got this card last night for myself. Forgot about it until now, but embodying my soul, I have the right to be excited. Reading this one. You want me to? Oh, opened right to it. When your soul is embodied, you are grateful to be alive. Okay, so there's one indication that we are fully embodying our soul, as we feel we are grateful to be alive. So an aspect of gratitude and thankfulness there noted. You are aware of life as a precious opportunity to experience the frequency of your own light through the unique attributes, characteristics, and senses of a person. In other words, your own frequency of the divine that you are, your own unique soul, has the opportunity to do it through a body with certain preferences and tastes and genetic lineages and likes and dislikes and all of that. It's kind of really cool if you think of it. It's really like being in a game, the game of life. Spin the spinner. As your soul becomes embodied, you are elated to be a part of life's cosmic play, no matter how bad things seem. This mantra is ideal for developing courage, necessary, finding your inner voice, and feeling safe in your body, which is sort of interesting for Virgos, considering we are earth signs. Let me magic clap this up into a picture you can look at, and we'll see what else pops, shall we? Nice, deep breath. We've got the Don Juan archetype for the Divine Feminine in the shadow, using the power of romantic attraction for private agenda. No bueno, we know. Right? The light attribute, though, spotlights your positive, seductive qualities, and if that is teaching by example, that can be very positively inspiring and teaching in a twin flame teacher contract read. Considering that what you may be teaching as the angel of self-worth, you are currently undervaluing yourself. It is a time to regain your self-worth, and that the lack of self-worth is also in the center lane here, as it were, is probably something that they are both in different stages of working on within themselves. Like attracts like, from the higher self for the Don Juan, says, if you are longing for more love in your life, you need to be more loving, and then I just heard, to yourself, to the child within you, to the truth of who you are, to love yourself, to value yourself, to you really, that's what's being learned here. It may seem basic, but it seems like we're always refining those basics. Jumping over to the Divine Masculine here, we've got the magical child in the shadow, pessimism, depression, and disbelief in miracles, believing that energy and action are not required for growth. Well, you don't get away with that for very long, in my experience. The light attribute, seeing the potential for sacred beauty in all things, the belief that everything is possible. So the magical child in its light even has the ability to look at this relationship. This twin flame contract is something of a sacred beauty, may not get what you want, may not get what you believe you deserve, but here will absolutely get what you need in terms of miracles and what? with the God of spiritual healing. An aspect of you or a situation in your life is in need of healing. So it feels like that the magical child could walk away and say, but there was a sacred healing involved here. So it was worth the price of admission. It was worth the price of the pain and the suffering, and perhaps even the pessimism and depression if it returns them to the belief that everything is possible, with, of course, that word from the whispers of the higher self here, the whisper of love: you are limitless. Recognize this truth. You can do anything you choose to do, particularly with the belief that everything is possible. Looking at what the Ascended Masters here offer in the center lane, we've got lack of self-worth, bad choices, and healing, which I think really does speak for itself. I mean, we've all made bad choices. It's the only way to learn how to make good choices, and plus our preferences change, and our perspectives change as we grow. So, you know, what was a bad choice once may not be so now in retrospect, right? We see how things brought us to where they are, and therefore we can really begin to heal some of that lack of self-worth, because our worth is beyond measure. We are the souls. We are the eternal beings indwelling these bodies. The personalities, the egos, the tastes, the preferences, all of that stuff is written in. We're about embracing all of that and seeing the worth of what it is to be a divine being in physical form, to have physical eyes to look through, right? Taste buds to taste all of the sensuality of this world, and all for the healing and all for the embracing in spite of or because of our bad choices, and that we have a right to be excited. We do. The embodying of the soul mantra is, I have a right to be excited. So considering this twin flame contract, I feel like both of these people can really, really learn from this twin flame contract in a way that benefits themselves so well. They could still have a love between them. It's just to really respect each other where they are on their journeys, and then really move into, I'm going to say this, being more the mate of their own souls and attracting more the soulmate in their life. If this is a romantic thing, but also this could very well be teacher-student, right? This could be employer-employee. This could play itself out in all sorts of different forms, but I think the overall twin flame contract here is relevant in terms of serving oneself, and in that serving the other by example. That last bit came out of me like locomotives out of every orifice. It's just so much information. Whew, just remember the mantra. I have a right to be excited. Yeah, you might feel a little guilty about it, what's going on the planet here at the moment and in the foreseeable future, but it's okay to get excited. It's okay. I have a right to be excited. And so I'm going to be tuning into that, I think, as well, a little bit, even though we're in waning moon. We're not taping this, but whatever, right? So, wishing the Virgo collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign the very best and the very blessed. May they be blessed with everything that they need in this twin flame relationship to discover the inherent self-worth that's already there. No need to evaluate it. It is genuine. It is there. And that like attracts like, that we're going to bring to ourselves people who understand their worth and therefore can see it in others, with this God of spiritual healing and limitlessness for this divine magical child, and that the bad choices can be healed by seeing the growth, by seeing the benefit of all of this in some way, that it's okay for them to feel excited. They have a right to be. So may the Virgo collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs get excited about their lives, their service, their development, their soul, fully embodied for the well-being of all. And my laptop agrees. So mote it be, and so it is. Thank you so much for watching, my sweethearts, my fellow virgins. I love you so much. Wishing you the very best and the very blessed of April 2020, my darlings, my Virgos. Hail, farewell, and blessed, blessed be.